Hey, Nug, thanks for jumping in there. Hope I'm coming through okay. It's a bit loud here. I'm coming in live through the Sydney Build Expo, so hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear.
Yes, then we are sounding.
Brilliant. So let me just turn up the volume on my side because it's quite loud here. So look, first of all, apologies for everyone that's been waiting for myself. I can see there's quite a few participants involved, so I do appreciate your patience, and I'm sure Nug's been running through a few bits and pieces that we're doing and planning on doing and what we've done. But let me just jump right in there and share my screen as I typically do. If you're planning on coming down to the Sydney Build Expo, definitely do come. I am talking at 12:30, so I'm short for time, but I always want to sort of keep my schedule in terms of being able to attend these sessions because I do appreciate everyone's time to jump on. So look, without further ado, I'll share my screen, and what I'll be running through is how we can showcase different time for aerial imagery, as well as being able to show house and land packaging and show it come up on the web widget, as well as proposals. So let me just get in there and jump on proposals first. And fingers crossed that the internet comes through okay, because it's quite a crowded field here. So all right, brilliant. So let's get right into it. So basically, we've launched proposals last month. The session today is to run through an example proposal of how you're able to produce a proposal and how you can start making most benefit of it. So let's go through to a particular address and kickstart the process. So basically, we've come to an address such as this. And if we're planning on starting a proposal, you'll first have to go into admin and create a proposal. Because up until now, if you wanted to generate some documents, you can generate the documents quite easily by going to either quote and generating a document, going to cart, generating site plan, or flyer. But what proposal does is it lets you amalgamate those, introduce your own PDF, so inclusion lists or cover pages or about us or terms and conditions, and formulate a proposal you can generate through the system. So to do that, all you have to do is go to the admin side and click admin. You'll be able to go straight to click on branding. And branding obviously allows you to manage branding of flyer and quotes and etc. But what you want to do is click on proposals. Now, if your subscription allows for multiple build types, you'll have to pick the build type that you're doing the proposal for. So if you're a company that does pools and houses, you can have a pool-specific proposal. You can have as many proposals as you like. So in this case, let's start off with a house proposal, but the process is the same irrespective of the build type. So let's click on house. Now, these are all the example proposals. They're a mishmash of different names, but this could be your gold, silver, bronze proposal, or your summary proposal, your detailed proposal, or your land-only proposal, your registered block or unregistered block. You can make this to be whatever you want in terms of the amount of proposals you have. But in this case, let's just start with a new template, which is at the bottom. We can click new template. It'll ask for a template, so let's just call this the Sydney Build Expo example. And we've assigned it to houses, so let's click save. Now what you'll see is the ability, you've got your work area on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, this is the elements that you can bring into your proposal. So you can bring in a cover page by simply clicking on it and adding a cover page, which you can now see there. If you wanted to edit the cover page, you can expand it. There's these little nozzles here. You can expand it to see what that cover page looks like. It'll draw on from your logo, and it will have a sample image, or have who it's prepared by. This will be generated to whoever prepares the proposal. In this case, it's myself, so it's showcasing how that looks. But you can click on the image and change the image. You can modify how this looks. It's just a starting off point. And you can click edit by just clicking the edit and start modifying this. You can start introducing this, typical, like similar to Word, you can start injecting tables, video links, and things like that. And I'll showcase all of those in a moment. So let's just minimize that for now. And then we might want to introduce other documents. So say, for example, we can have a web link. So if I click on video, this video web link, if I expand on that, it will basically just be asking for a web link that you can enter. And then this, you will have a video link within your proposal. So if we do that and go to, say, for example, who knows what that YouTube video is, but let me just. So basically, what we suggest is getting a YouTube link and then be able to sort of add that link in. So as that loads up, I'll come back to it because everything is running quite slow. So let's look up the canibuild YouTube link. Click on one of these links. Let's click on this 3D. So now we can just simply go back to the main page where we're working on, add that link, click save, and I'll draw on that video link that we can now see there. So I'll minimize that. So now we've introduced a cover page, a video link. You can add an external document. So if I do that, that's quite simple as well. So let me just get my example documents ready. Brilliant. So let me just add that in. So basically, if I go external documents, the same process. You can now attach a PDF. So let's just do this in a way that I select something that's realistic. Say, for example, with a home builder. So say, for example, you wanted to add in, say, for example, an inclusion list. So let's just click on an example, typical PDF inclusion. And this will inject any PDF. It could be anything that you like. So in this case here, it's a sample inclusion list. And then you can keep on adding. So say, for example, you can click on another external document and then attach something else. So say, for example, terms and conditions. Might be the case. So you can see here, you can add external PDFs, anything that is necessary. So let me just quickly save that. And let me just attach, say, another thing, company picture. Brilliant. So yeah, so we've got our terms and conditions and so on and so forth. So basically, you can see we've attached those external video link documents. We can also grab this and change the sequence in which the proposal is being done. So if you want the video to be at the end, you can do that. You can start moving these things around quite easily. But where things get quite creative and interesting is on the right-hand side. Not only can you just insert videos on blank pages, because the blank page, what that lets you do is use the system as basically as a type. So you can even do creative things like this proposal is for, and you can actually inject, say, maybe not a page break, but you're able to inject tokens. So what I mean by tokens is you can actually inject here's tokens. You can actually click job address and it'll actually draw from the fields within the canibuild app. So this proposal is for address blah, for clients, and then click on tokens again. And you can see here in the drop down, you can actually draw on quite a few details. So let's just go client name, anything like that. So it'll be for clients, etc. So if I click on, client name, I click insert, it'll inject those tokens. And then those tokens will be filled with the data that you fill on your site. So you can be quite creative in this. So I've got this example as well. Now, on the right-hand side, if I click on canibuild docs, this is drawing from all the documents that's generated from within canibuild. So say, for example, you've generated a CAD file or a site plan or a flood certificate or a detailed survey, or you've purchased these items in the marketplace, it'll automatically add them. It won't charge you. If you've already purchased them, we'll insert those within the proposal. So you don't have to start putting the title into page 2 or a site plan. You can start doing it this way. So say, for example, if in this case, we want to add quote because we want to inject the quote into this. Say we also want to inject the site plan. So if I click on site plan or flyer, that's another example. And then let me just see where site plan is. And believe you me, a feature request from me has been a search on this page because it's surprising how many documents is now available within the canibuild system. So here we've got site plan. So now we can start doing things like, okay, we want the quote to be upfront. We want the site plan to be even before the quote. We might want to have the flyer straight after for a bit of gloss. We've got that one line up would be maybe the first page, or that tokens could have been on the cover page, for example, for client X, for address for Y, and things like that. So here we've got quite a few documents, and you can go wild with this. You can also go in formatting and change the text, the colors. You can actually add a background image onto the proposal. But hopefully you can see here how simple and nimble it is to start generating something quite effectively. So let's just click on save. And if we go back to the first tab at the bottom there, you can see publish. So now this will be available for you to click on the front end. So let's do that right now. So let's just jump back. So here, let's see if it was smart enough to load up straight away. It is. Well, I'm amazed. Our developers are amazing. So on the front end, you can see if I click on cart, at the bottom there, you can see Sydney Build Expo example, which is the one that I've just created. So now if I click on that Sydney Build Expo and click order and agree to T's and C's, you're able to now generate this document. So let's just generate that. And again, like in all my presentations, feel free to interrupt me as I go along. You can ask me questions about what I'm doing or anything else, but it'll be a nice sort of, nothing's changed. You can sort of ask away those questions. So here you can see in docs, just like as if you generate a flyer or a site plan or any other document, it'll live its life here. So you've got the Sydney Build Expo example, and that could have been your summary proposal or your detailed proposal or anything like that. So this will come here it typically takes a couple of minutes because I've injected quite a few documents, site plan and flyer and so on. So I'll let that generate. While that's generating, I'll also touch on some of the other aspects of what we've been doing here at canibuild. So one of the exciting things is the ability to change the date of the aerial image. This is something that's been requested from our clients quite a while, and some of you have been quite patient. So if any of you that's been patient on this, I do appreciate your patience. But on the bottom left-hand side, you'll see on top of the map a little drop with dates that you can scroll through, and you can actually change the date of the aerial image. So you can see what it looked like before. So say, for example, a tree is covering the area that you're looking to site and with a shade. You can pick a time when the tree is without leaves or the shadow is in a different spot, and then be able to see the block of land that maybe a more clearer light. And then it's as simple as clicking that. But before I jump onto that, I can see that the document's now ready at the bottom left-hand side. I can click download, and I'll download that PDF. And congratulations to the Sydney Build Expo for their Wi-Fi to be half decent. I'm pretty surprised, to be honest. So that PDF is downloading. So here we can see the proposal that was done. So on the left-hand side, maybe you can't see, so I'll share my full screen. So here we've got the PDF, and this was out of the box. So obviously you can spend time prettying this up in 1,000 different ways. But if I scroll down, you can see here, this is proposal for 76 Hood Street, Australia, for client Jim Harris. Obviously, you'll spend a little bit more time doing the formatting in a way that's a lot neater than what I've just done. But it'll incorporate the site plan, the flyer, sorry, of the actual design that's on that property. You can scroll down, it'll actually have the site plan that's already injected. And this will be a current site plan, so generated on the fly. We've got zoomed in view, so as per normal. Then you've got the quotes. So if you've prepared a quote already, we'll inject that. And then you can sort of, and then there's that team photo I just threw in. So obviously that will be at the top, and then you'll inject other items. So in a very quick fashion, you're able to produce this document on the fly just as quickly as you were with site plans and flyers previously. So I think that's quite impressive, and you can spend a little bit of time to be quite creative. And if you are using the marketplace, like many of you are for services, you can inject those documents as well. So you don't have to start compiling things, you can just generate and send. And you can have as many proposals as you like to suit the circumstance. So you can have your expensive and cheap, you can have your detailed or summary, and start doing things pretty creatively in that way. So this is everything in regards to proposals. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask, but the recording of this session will be uploaded so you can replay on how we did it. And if you ever need training on how to set up proposals, please email support@canibuild.com and simply ask, hey guys, I'm John, I'm looking for training for the proposal, and we'll get someone to set up a Zoom session and run through how to actually conduct your own proposal for your business. And we can even help you making that dress up quite nice. So there's been a lot of companies that have gone quite far in this process, and the end proposal is quite detailed, and you now have that flexibility to have multiple options. So hopefully that's well received, and that's seen as a positive to the Canibuild platform. And always keen to get your feedback, both positive and negatively, just so we can always improve and make sure that we're focused on what you guys need. So jumping back to the main app, which is, and I see a question there, so I'll quickly attend to that as well. So proposals look great. Is there a way to store different specification level pricings to designs? Okay, so in terms of different specifications, so say for example, if it's different specs as a fixed, say a fixed proposal. Okay, let me answer this in two different ways. You can have different quote proposals. So you can have in quote, you can be able to generate different quotes. So you can have your gold, silver, bronze. So you can create those templates. So then you can add that template into the proposal. So you can have a different quote specification. If you're having a static PDF, like your gold, silver, bronze, or something in terms of those type of specs, then you can have those PDFs attached to 3 different proposals. So you can have your gold, silver, bronze proposal and have those PDFs there. And then the quote in each can be linked to their own quote proposal. So if I go back to admin, for example, and I go to quotes and go to templates. So here in templates, you are able to actually create a different template for that proposal. So if I jump back to the front end, let me just quickly. So if I go back to the front end and go to 76 Wood Street and go to quotes, see this little drop down here, you can actually select a different quote template. So those can reflect different specifications. We are releasing zoning. So if the specification relates to, say, for example, the specs is X, Y, and Z, and the specs in Victoria is ABC, then that's coming soon as well. And we're hoping to do that by next month. So we're working on that now as well. So hopefully that's answered your question, Warren, but feel free to reach out to me. Well, obviously you're a family of clients. And I appreciate how much your organization is actually adopting Canibuild and using it in creative ways, which is really good. So let's have a chat after this, but hopefully I've answered your question. So Jacqueline, thanks for that. Hopefully things are going still as strong for you guys down there in Canberra, and hopefully this proposal you can see benefit there as well. And if we're falling short somewhere, feel free to just go, hey guys, it's 80% there. It'll be great if you did X, Y, and Z, and we'll generally work on that. And a lot of thanks to the quote proposal has to go to two organizations, one in Victoria. If you're on there, you know who you are. They've been pushing quote proposals quite a lot and been working with us. And the other one is Warren. So we do appreciate your patience in letting us get to this point, but hopefully you can see that we do move quite quickly. So if we jump back to the main app, at the bottom there, we've got that the date. So you can start clicking on a different date and actually change the time of that that image, which is pretty impressive. So you can start being quite creative in terms of which image you use or prefer. You can also change the transparency of the image with the little dial at the bottom. So basically there you can wipe it all out and have a clear gray canvas. If you prefer this look and you want to remove all the noise. If you want to just show a hint of the aerial image, say for instance, in this case, it's a knockdown rebuild, you can use it for that as well. And then when you generate a site plan, it will reflect this view. So this is just also a nice touch for you to be able to present the site plan exactly as you want. So sometimes the aerial, you may have heard me on previous demos where I go, the aerial imagery becomes too noisy. You can click the actual map button and switch to this view. But rather than that, you now have the flexibility of keeping the aerial image, but just toning it down so then you can visually see what you want to see a lot clearer, which I think is pretty nifty. And that's all at the bottom left. So to change the date, you click the date and you can scroll up and down to all the dates. And at the bottom, you've got a 0 to 100% transparency slider. So you can start playing with how transparent you want it or not want it, which is pretty cool. Now, the last thing that I want to sort of cram in is our house and land packaging part, as well as our widget part. So I want to sort of touch on that and show you end to end how the actual widget works. Now, the widget, we've got clients that are pool builders that are using it, as well as home builders. The example I'll go through is at home, but it works exactly the same way for pools. So let's run with that and see how we can do that. Now, in order to do a house and land package, so what we're basically trying to do here is create a house and land package or a pool package. If you've got like, you want to sort of display a pool or use the widget for pools, I'll show that. But if we use the house and land package example, you can start citing something, say something like this on this property here. And then in Deals tab, which is on the right-hand side of the address, you can simply click on the version that you want to package. So I've already done it on this one, but if you click these three little dots, you can package the deal and see it here. So let's be adventurous and start a new one in the time that we've got left. So let's go to show estate to make this look a little bit real. So if I zoom in and pick an estate, let's just pick this one here. Let's just pick a block of lands, say 757. So I'm sure everyone that's on this session is shocked and horrified that I've moved away from 78 Good Street, but there you go. So here we've got this block of land. Now we just pick a design as per normal. So let's just pick that same design, Orlando. Click on that, drop that design in. And let's just position that. You'll be able to pick your render, your facade for pool companies. It's a lifestyle shot. So here we've got this design, and let's just place that there. Now, let's just imagine you spent a whole heap of time positioning it, selecting the actual design options that you want for this. You've marked everything up, you've priced everything up, you know exactly. So you've basically done a house and land package, and which right now may have taken you weeks, but it now takes minutes. Yep, and Aislinn, you've requested to see 3D. I'll definitely show that at the end. Believe me, my team won't let me sort of let that slip past either. So I appreciate you reminding me, and I'll quickly do that. But here on this package, if I click on the file cabinet on the right-hand side of the address, you now can see that deal that we've just created. I can click on this and click package deal. It'll ask you to name the package. So let's just do the Expo package. We can allocate a facade name. So say let's just the Metro and the price of the package. So let's just say, usually I used to say $799, but I don't think we'll buy a package for $800,000 anymore. So let's just go 1.3. and then generate package. Now, what that will do is it'll generate a package that you'll be able to access from my packages at the top. You can see the package there. And now all you have to do is click lock to say, I want to show this on our website. And it's that quick. It'll just come up on the website straight away. So let's just click lock. So now this will turn into a package. It'll actually appear in your designs tab as well. So if I click back here, you can see the Expo package there. And then if I click on deals, you can see the package there. So now let's just go and see this package on our website. So what I'll do now is I'll go to our test widget. So this is the lightweight version of canibuild that can be embedded on your website. So this is, imagine this was your website. So this is the canibuild website. I'll go to a few examples that's live out there. But if I click on here, you can see this lightweight version of the app. And this is designed for your end clients to be able to start looking at what's available and start being able to see your builds on their designs. So if I zoom in, all the red icons that you can see here, the little red pins, they're all the house and land packages that's being created. So you can zoom in here and start picking on any of those packages, which is pretty ingenious. So if I zoom in here to whereabouts I was, so let's just click zoom in on that. And there's different ways that you can filter through. You can use the filters at the top to filter down by any criteria. So beds, bath, price, and sort of filter down to your house and land packages. But then if I click on here and hover, we'll be able to see the house and land package that was just created here for 1.29. And it's already on your website. That's literally how easy it is. So you can start packaging on blocks of land that are on open market and start using it for lead gen. If I click on that, it'll ask for the end consumer to validate their access. So you can do that quite easily. So if I sign in, I'll just log in. So basically that means you have a validated user login. You'll have the ability to get that information so you know who they are. You're able to call them. You're able to see what address they're looking at, what design they've picked, or what house and land package they're interested in. So here, if I log in and click sign in, and this doesn't just work with house and land packages. For companies that are using this to just be able to put in the address, just like 76 Wood Street, and be able to sort of drill down and start seeing the full shells if you're a fiberglass pool. And here's the package. So it's already been exposed to your website. And on the left-hand side, you've got your facade choices that you can pick. So you can pick which facade if you allow that option, and you can start letting the end consumer start playing around with the different options, that design options that you might have. And then you can pick pet flyer, see how that looks, and then the end consumer will get a generated flyer. But I'm sure everyone on this session right now, or looking at this recorded video, is going to agree that's the quickest way ever that you've seen to package, save it as a package, and then push it out to the web widget, which if you choose to use our service for that web widget on your website, you can start deploying heaps of house and land packages. You can start letting your end consumer start looking at your designs. You can start building up lead generation. It's second to none. And then on top of that, you've got all your filters in terms of your pricing, your attributes, what you're looking for, whether it's estates or house and land. Obviously, for the pool builders, you might remove that in terms of house and land, and you can do that. And then in terms of more filters, you can start filtering by land size, etc., and start reducing these dots down to, say, you want the max price to be 200,000 and see which dots are left, and then you can see those dots, etc. So that's quite, obviously that $1.3 million one is disappeared from view, and then you can hover over and see estates, and then you can log in and see the estate itself. So the estate that I was on the main app is this one here, and then you can see it. Pretty cool. So hopefully that's also well received, and you can see how will it show blocks are still available. The answer is yes, we're rolling that out We're a bit behind schedule on doing that, but we're rolling that out and we're supercharging that. We've hired another 20 people that's just dedicated to the team, updating all the estates as to their availability, and we've integrated into numerous developers. So that's going to happen more and more. And then what it'll look like is exactly this, where you can see the color coding of what's available and what's on hold and what's sold. So in the few minutes that I have left, because at 12:30 I'm going on stage and presenting again, so I'll definitely drink a bottle of water and sort of recap between jogging here from parking and this webinar and the next one. But if anyone that knows me, the one thing I can do is talk, so I'll talk all day. So the last thing I want to do is show the 3D. So let's go to 3D, and this is launching end of this month. Come rain, hail, or shine, this is happening, which is probably our team is skipping a few heartbeats. So let's just log in and show how that looks. And again, I'm logging into the non-prod environment, but hopefully we can see, log in and start showing you how that's looking and how that's going to work. Because our 3D is not just a visualization 3D, it's also in terms of auto site cost. So let me just see if I can load this in. So hopefully our environment is up and running. So just give me one tick. And this is just our internet is now just running pretty slow. Okay, brilliant. So it's coming up. Let me just log into non-prod. And non-prod is just fancy word for the environment that the developers are working in. So I have told the team to just hold tight during this webinar in my presentation in a bit. So brilliant. And look, it's testament to the fact that this app still works as fluently as it does, just being off of Wi-Fi in a heavily packed expo, because with COVID being shutting up construction for quite a few years in terms of these type of trade shows, it is a full house, guys. So if anyone's interested in coming down and seeing our store, canibuild, or seeing quite a lot of the other technology, definitely make your way down. It's well worth the trip. And I'm not just saying that. Some of the other trade shows have been a bit, hey, how you doing? But this one's really good. So let's just go to 78 Hood Street, Laguna. So basically how the 3D works and is working and will work works exactly the same way as the 2D version. So here on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see these icons. So there's view in 3D. And you'll also see a little padlock there, which very soon that padlock is going to allow you to draw your own lot, amalgamate your lot, and edit your own lot. For some reason, I don't know why on the side it's disabled. So I don't know if the developers are doing something, which is pretty frustrating, given I asked for them not to. But let's just, it was just loading. So let me just jump back to that example and let it load. So it's just a bit impatient. So on the right-hand side, you can see that at the bottom, there's a little spanner. This will excite quite a few of you. So I don't know why it's, look, let me just see what's happening here. Because for some reason, it's going disabled. So the developers might be doing something which is pretty frustrating. So if I click on 3D, all right, we're there. So if we click on 3D, it'll change into a 3D view. So here you can see that it looks all the same, but what you'll soon be able to do is tilt the screen. And again, I reinforce the technology and know-how that's gone into this for this to work as smoothly as it does under the pressure of this. It's pretty good. So here it's showing an extruded model of, could be a pool, a shed, a house. It works with all build types. And here I've got like an example home. You can right click that and change that to showcase a 3D model. So instead of just an extruded view of the floor plan, so you can do that. But what's really amazing in regards to the 3D and auto site cost is if you see on the bottom there, you'll have drop edges, fill volumes, cut volume, neck pump fill. You can see that pop up at the bottom, which I'm opening and closing. The amazing thing about that is as you move the build around, it'll auto calculate and showcase that build exactly how it's looking. So here I've got a 3D model, and then you're able to see how that build looks. So if I filter there, you can see the cut. You can see what that cost is going to be. You can add your own recipe, so your own square meter rate for drop edges, whether it's a pool or you import and export a fill. And then what you can do is if you move this build around, what will happen is it'll auto-generate the cut and the drop edge. So at the bottom, at the back there, you can actually see what that drop edge looks like. And it'll recalculate the cost. So now for those companies looking to be really forward-looking, rather than saying, look, allow 50,000 for site costs, you can actually be quite specific in this. So if I shift this to the back, notice that the drop edge is now at the front, and then you can see that at the bottom, the cut is 0 because there's no cut. But then if I click on the build, I can actually rotate it, change the height and depth. So if I change the depth, so lower it, we can now see that the cut is on that left-hand side. And then there's drop edge on this side, which is amazing. Like, this is pretty cool tech. And it's usable technology. It's not just a gimmick. So not only can you now show the build from the street view and showcase how it's going to look, you can show the drop edge and actually show the cost of having it here or there or elsewhere. Now, in relation to the question that was asked earlier, yes, you can now do solar as well. So on the left-hand side, if I click on the solar, the little sun there, I can show the shadow at any time of day, year, etc., and see what that shadow is going to look like, which is amazing, right? So here I can start seeing what the shadow line is going to look like, what the consequence is going to be, and how that's going to affect the build and the amenity of the site. Not only that, if I right-click here, you're able to do things like, and if you don't have the model, it doesn't matter, because what will happen is it'll just show the extrusion of the floor plan. So here I can show the floor plan and show the box. So it doesn't matter if you've got a plan or a 3D model or not, you can start using this straight away. You can show the floor plan. You can even click the cut and fill feature and actually show what's fill and what's cut. So imagine you're basically combining construction cost reality with the sales process in a way that sales, it's second to none. So we're really excited about this new feature, and we'll be releasing this in the next month. So hopefully I've covered everything that I should have covered. I'm genuinely apologetic that I was late, but I'm sure that Nugs was showcasing what we're doing. I'm hoping that the new features that we've shown is definitely of interest. And basically, feel free to reach out anytime if you want to know more about the 3D or the proposal or anything else that canibuild's doing, because we're basically here to respond to your requests, and you guys are driving what we're focusing on. So I can see Bree getting nervous on my left-hand side about me having to sort of turn up to the show. But look, I really appreciate everyone's time. We've recorded the session, we'll be uploading it so for everyone to review. But now I'll just head to my next engagement, and I'll go on stage and start talking about how technology is affecting sales in the construction industry. And hopefully we can record that in some way and upload that for anyone that hasn't sort of come down to the show. But appreciate everyone's time. Really hope that everyone got a lot out of it. And I'm glad that you guys stuck around and joined on. I'm sure it was a blast. So take care, and I'll see you next month on the first Thursday at 11 o'clock. And we'll see you back then for the FAQ hour. Thanks very much, guys. Take care.